matchup should be April Jimmy. Probably one of my favorite skins in the game, in the Endman skin.
It's so sick, dude. I love it so much. I call that the Captain Nigeria right there. Shout out my country of origin for sure. We're getting into this first game of the set on Jellyfish Field.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll probably see a couple of moves here. I think April Jab, April Nair, April Down Tilt are all the ones that I expect to see a decent bit. And I guess we'll see. I know Jimmy is one of those characters that can be played in a variety of ways, so we will see if we can get anything started. But look at the pressure. It's like it comes out so quick, all of her lights, and they're so difficult to deal with. But they're able to make get something started here at least. 24 damage and back into zoning, which is a favorable position, especially against April, who kind of wants you to play around her moves. I guess we'll see if they can continue to keep up that sort of range.
It's an interesting game, right? Because April's a very good character that's good at sort of the mid-range sort of footsies gameplay for sure, but Jimmy as well. Sort of playing in similar ranges, so you can definitely see them sort of competing for space in that sort of same sort of mid-range just all the time, basically, right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of what it looks like. They're kind of trading tit for tat with Lucretio getting a little bit of the edge at the ledge, but I think that little projectile right there is going to be a big difference maker. If we can hit one of those and teeter with it, it might actually just be a kill at most percents. So to be careful if I'm April here, and if I'm Jimmy, I have to make my way up the ledge, and I really have to slime block, otherwise I'm just gonna get teetered, and no, you can't match up the Angel platform. 28 only, but still, it's so dangerous.
Yeah, we're taking a lot of damage. I love Lucretio's use of that air down strong and April, by the way. So much range on that, does a really good amount of damage. It's kind of really challenging Fabs in the mid-range, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, 119, but we have the burst online, so we should still be in a good spot. And another thing we have online is the ratings. So anything can be pretty much a kill move right now if we can link it. And it's a kill move too, but just barely living.
She can go so deep off stage too. Fabs is definitely just not safe, especially Jimmy having the pretty slow up B, getting pressured to the ledge, still not slime blocking. The teeter was threat, but just fortunately for him does not quite get teetered back in the neutral, but definitely Fabs needs to make something happen immediately. The side B, the Kusta back, definitely going to start something for him though. Gets a pitch off stage and misses the Goddard spike, but the back air hidden. Forces the burst, but needs one more good hit to get the KO, and he's probably a bit to find it, Migs.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking a little bit tough to try and find the kill, but that
might
do it. Just barely whiffing. It's so important because if we die here before getting it, being 2 stocks down, even with the burst, is not a good spot at all. The forward air should do it off the down tilt. That will confirm at pretty much any percent. You know, we saw it at 159 there. But the most important thing right now is try and get some damage. You know, if I'm Jimmy, I'm trying to get as much damage as possible before this stock goes to even it out a bit, because I have 3 bars to work with as well. But I have to get off of the ledge first, and that's a good way to do it. Maybe use Goddard here, try and get something started, but no, he shoots it the wrong way. Man, Blackmore, I don't know. This is looking a little bit tough to even find a single hit.
Yeah, well, you're not really getting too much mileage off the Goddard too. Definitely sort of puts Jimmy in the biggest advantage. That extra player is not really even being much of a factor for Fabs right now, unfortunately. Just sort of misspacing a lot of these lasers, a lot of these spikes as well. Definitely not getting much happening with Goddard quite yet. Ooh, a spot dodge, very clutch to help Fabs live another day. He's stacking up a good amount of credit for sure, not getting too far. Disadvantage right there. Lucretio off stage too, stacking up a good amount of damage. 4 strong, not hitting him with a back throw. Will hit and kill Fabs off the side.
Yeah, and one of the things about this matchup, we don't really talk about it too much, or at least I haven't seen one just yet, but there's only been 3 stocks total in about 4 minutes because they both like the zone. So there's a very real opportunity of going for a timeout if that's the playstyle you want to go for. I think they're not necessarily thinking about it right now, but if they were to, you can see that kind of come into play, a more passive playstyle. But yeah, either way, I mean, you know, Fabs, Kopter, they have to find this stock as quick as they can. Don't want April living to like 150 again. That's not ideal, especially when there's so little time left. So if we can find it here, gets the 4th throw, but that's not going to lead into very much. It will get Goddard out though. Now we can try and cover some options, but no, the camera just straight through.
Yeah, I think Fab's kind of overthinking a lot of these edge guard scenarios right there. Sort of getting caught with his pants out a little bit at the ledge right there, letting Lucretio get back a little easier than he should in these situations, man.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see it already. 91 turns into 98. We tried to get the ratings, but just barely whiffing it. Absolutely would have been the stock, especially with no burst. But look at the difference now. I mean, it's a full stock down, and it's taking so long to close these out.
Oh, yeah, forward across a stage, not quite enough to do it. Does not pressure her coming back to stage. You cannot let April come back for free. You need to make that feel a factor for her. But Fabs are struggling to do that a little bit right now. Okay, get the side B's. Now doing that a little bit. As we say that, the field does become a factor. The side B. Fabs, the usage of that was fire.
Yeah, it was really good. And then, didn't get the teeter. If it teeters there, it absolutely just kills. But, you know, one of the things to keep in mind is that Lucretio did jump into that kind of projectile, that wind box. I feel like if they recover low, they don't have to think about it as much. And we might see that. Another thing we might see is some of the tech chases, but Fabs makes their way out and tries to get something started with the uppers, but it's only 24. And I don't know. This is definitely a bit rough. We've got 2 bars to work with. Got to find the stock, but man, I mean, the April seems very, very difficult to even land a hit on.
Yeah, definitely pretty difficult landing on, let alone land multiple on. Even though the timeout is probably not a factor, but the time is for sure. It's definitely making Fab scramble a little bit harder for these hits right here, because knowing that time is a factor for sure. Definitely needs to get a stock very soon, or else he's just out of the running in this immediately. Lucretio knowing that, still keeping the pressure on, not letting him get much started.
Yeah, and we can get something started here, maybe into the up strong, but no, just barely whiffing. Back throw off stage. This is where things start to get a little bit difficult. The ledge has been very difficult to get off of, and especially with these strong dares covering so much space, it can be tough. And it's already turned into 115. It's been, you know, maybe 15 seconds of just being stuck at the ledge. Only make our way off though. And Goddard is out, but it's not going to turn into anything. We can't even switch to him.
Can't switch him at all. 133% offside of stage. 1 minute left, looking pretty dire. Forced to use a burst right there. It's not looking the best for sure. Lucretio knows that, not being too offensive right now. Just chilling, waiting for Fabs to go into his DM. Granted, the up air not quite killing. That top blast is very high on the stage. Still, only 49 seconds to go. 4 strong, not killing. But again, Lucretio, huge lead right now. It's basically his game to lose.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you could really just run away. You don't have to try and find anything. Good finding the up throw, knowing at 190 most of the time people would just sit and shield. They're horrified of losing. I think a shrinking of the blast zones would be pretty important. If I am Fobs, I really don't want to play April on that stage.
Yeah, for sure. Just especially as Jimmy that's like getting some kills on top too. The air up strong, sweet spots are very, very rewarding. But on this stage, I mean, kind of can't, right? It's kind of the blast zones the farthest of the legal stage list, and it is even harder to kill this pretty thin character that's also not the easiest character to combo.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And I mean, you saw it going to 7 minutes because of the matchup, the way that it plays out. I would say if you're doing well as far as the spacing game, you know, you probably want to play that, play that a decent bit, but you don't want her living to 150 like she has every single stock. I'm curious as to what stage we would go.
I don't know. I feel like pick like a Tremerton or a Miracle City could definitely come through for sure, but I'm sure people aren't really keen on picking the kind of mix a lot of the time, right? So probably gonna get something more traditional.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, Tremerton has been my go-to counter pick.
There you go.
I think it's really, really good. But I guess we will see a Miracle City pick, and I don't know. If I'm April, I really like this stage. We have so much room to work with, and you can play the runaway game really well.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's turned into 47 already, and Blackamore, one of the things that has been kind of interesting, the pop shots, they kind of like 1 to 2 hit neutral exchanges have really gone in Lucretio's favor.
Oh yeah, they definitely have for sure. Sort of April is naturally a bit better at building damage than Jimmy. Jimmy definitely has to get more neutral openings, but he's very good in the neutral, definitely with the trade-offs right there. But when April also has very formidable neutral tools herself, like that forward air, like the air forward shot, like the forward shot hit him off the ledge right there. It can be definitely very difficult. Hits him off the angel platform. You cannot caught meshing on that.
Yeah, exactly. And, I thought we were going to see something into a down air, but no, opts for forward air instead and whiffs. and this has turned into only 40 damage for Fobs. And I feel like hasn't really even lost neutral that much. It's just been maybe one or two rather exchanges, but Hero gets so much off of it. Another thing that I hope we get to see a little bit more of, maybe more of these up tilts. You know, up tilt confirms from Jimmy, and they kind of just do like 70 damage and hit one, but we haven't seen any of that yet.
Yeah, it's one of those things in early game, especially the harder characters, it's a bit difficult to advise commenting, especially thinking about all these things that Fab's sort of doing in this gameplay, the missiles, the forward airs, the Goddard play. Definitely, it's a lot going on for him for sure. Lucretio kind of overloading that mental stack a bit right now with April.
Yeah, it seems like it, and not being able to find your opening can definitely make you play a little bit more desperate too, but we do find the strong up air, so that's something. 134, as long as we can hold on to the stock, we can turn it into a little bit more, and Fobs finding a lot more now than before, for sure. 144 though, and at the ledge, this has been the toughest spot.
Oh my god.
Burst though. No, one more shot, but no, just standing there for a little bit too long.
It just flew off the sideboard. I didn't even see him go away right there. That's how hard that thing hit for sure. And Lucretio still hitting hard already. 53%. The stock just started. How is he stacking up this much damage? The quickening the pace of the match on this stage for sure is not going in Fab's favor, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, being one of the better Smash players that at least I've seen from Europe, one of the things that Lucretio is very good at is not taking too many risks. Any risk they take is very calculated, and you can see it with these forward strongs. Like, they're only throwing them out when they know that it's a guaranteed hit.
Yeah, for sure. Their hit rate isn't very good on it for sure. Just get a bit started there, but Lucretio guys his way back to the stage, of course. April, very great recovery on her.
Yeah, and man, you can see it, the confirms aren't hitting, and we're getting hit by everything that April has to offer. This is looking a little bit tough. We can maybe get it started at the ledge here, but April able to just jump out, and look at the movement, even from the ledge with that little space. Lucretio just spacing around things perfectly.
Yeah, Lucretio is playing this very, very well, very smart for sure. Running away with this lead immensely right there. Fast trying to get some started, but it's definitely a hill to climb on him. Setting 4 damage on this stock, only 120 on Lucretio. The air up strong will do it, but how much further can Fabs get is the question.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get something started with up tilt here, like more than anything. Well, that's a good way as well to get something started. The rating's no longer a factor, so you don't have to think about it too much, but the strong up air, no, gets the weak hit. And we've got maybe one more shot at life here, but it's not looking too good.
Oh my geez. Yeah, most definitely. But the jukes on Fabs coming out, he lives to see another day, but as you said, bro, I don't know for how much longer he gets up throw, doesn't get much off it though. The low percent, you can't quite get a combo going off that at that percent.
Yeah, and 137, okay. Getting some up airs, 32. Something, but man, it's just so hard to find like meaningful damage in this, in this matchup. It feels really, really difficult, at least from looking at it. And Lucretio covering the space really well, forced the burst. This might be your last shot at the ledge. Gotta get around the strongs, and it's looking tough. Should be a nair into a 4 strong. No, just barely whiffs.
Barely whiffs for sure, but 161% on Fabs. Now looking Conduit right now. The Air Force Strong will eventually do it. Lucretio taking down Kopter 2-0. Amazing play both sides for sure.